100 years ago, on Victoria Day weekend 1916, thousands of people gathered in Lindsay from all over what is now the city of Kawartha Lakes to take in a spectacle of the 109th Battalion marching through the streets, being presented with regimental flags or colors by Lady Eaton, and later in the day parading to the Canadian Pacific Railway Station, where they would be waved off by their family and friends and other loved ones. 100 years on, the Victoria County Historical Society decided to commemorate this event.
We're commemorating the send-off of the 109th Battalion that marched down these same streets 100 years ago. Commemorating this is what you see behind you, the young people. It puts the memory of what happened back.
As a cadet, one of our mandates is to teach about what happened in past wars and to show them where we've come from, our history, and to promote the Army itself. And so I feel like it's part of who we are as cadets, the leadership that we've grown into. So it's always good to be able to show that off to the community.
Lest we forget, we don't want anybody to forget. So we're, like I said, we're very proud to represent the organization that's marching today, and as well as the Legion.
It's good to know that we still remember these kinds of things, that we haven't just kind of shoved aside our history.
These commemorative events like this are such an important part of bridging the gaps between generations, young and old. Seeing this stuff come to life and this interactive opportunity is really great.
Although the ambulances were manufactured, say this one by Ford, there were women and men, even in communities like in Lindsay, who were helping the Red Cross to raise funds to actually purchase ambulances and send them overseas. So it wasn't just something that was manufactured and sent over, but it was really, there were grassroots movements in local communities like ours that were helping the war effort in larger ways. So it's really important to kind of not only commemorate the men who were fighting overseas and being transported and evacuated by ambulances such as this, but the people back at home that made the purchase of an ambulance possible.
Yeah. I think history is very, very important, and Sir Sam Hughes, being from Lindsay, was a central figure. He was a crusty soul, but he got the job done, and that was his aim, that was his force. So that's where he went. But I think history, it's important to go back over history and remember what people have done, our ancestors have done for us, and the benefits that we can reap because of what they did.
Even though it was a tremendously cold and wet day, we invited members of the public who were watching the parade from Kent Street to follow it as it made its way down Kent along Lindsay to the reenactment site at the corner of Queen and Lindsay Street North. Originally in 1916, the flags were presented by Lady Eaton to the 109th Battalion at the old fairgrounds, which of course is being developed into a subdivision. So we had to combine the reenactment of that event with the reenactment of the troops departing the site of the old railway station. When the parade arrived at the reenactment site, the pipes and drums deposited their drums altar-like near the reviewing stand, and the Legion proceeded to lay the flags upon them. This symbolizes the sacrifices that members of the armed forces made 100 years ago by draping flags over drums, which were then blessed originally by the 109th Battalion chaplain, a fellow named C.G. Williams. In 2016, we were honored to have the Reverend Warren Leibovich, the minister of St. Paul's Anglican Church here in Lindsay. Lady Eaton was born in Omemee in 1880 and went into the nursing profession in Toronto, where she met Sir John Eaton of the Timothy Eaton department store empire. They lived in Toronto for most of their lives, but Lady Eaton frequently would return to Victoria County, as it was then called, for various social and philanthropic events. And presumably it was this reason that she was invited to present the colors to the 109th Battalion.
I now invite Lady Eaton herself to say a few words at this time.
I give these colors, unspotted, into the keeping of the battalion, and I have every confidence that the Fighting 109 will keep them in this condition throughout its existence. I wish you Godspeed and safety in the campaign in which you will shortly enter.
On behalf of the officers, non-commissioned officers, and men of the 109th Battalion, we thank you and Sir John Eaton for being present with us today. We go where duty leads, and we'll bring these colors back unspotted after the war.
Joining us here today, all the way from a seat in the House of Commons, is the Honourable Sam Hughes, Member of Parliament and Minister of Militia and Defence.
A single honor has been conferred upon the battalion to receive these colors from Lady Eaton. Your words be enholden us. Will you do it? I appreciate the spirit displayed and know you will do your duties. Your patriotic and enthusiastic spirit displayed is very much appreciated by me and His Majesty's Canadian government. I express my thanks, my warmest thanks, to the people of Victoria and Haliburton counties for the loyal and consistent endeavor put forth to make this battalion credit to this district. In closing, I wish to pay tribute to Lady Eaton. Sir John Eaton has been fortunate to acquire as his partner through life one of the most charming young ladies Omemee has produced.
The flags are then paraded along the grounds in front of the reviewing stand. All the members in uniform salute. And eventually they found their way up onto what I call a plateau. This was actually the former yards of the Canadian Pacific Railway, from where the battalion departed in 1916. At the end of the ceremony, the commander would call "Fall In," and the concert band of Coburg played "The Girl I Left Behind Me," a very stirring marching tune that was played when the train departed originally in 1916. The marching contingent then made its way south, following the abandoned roadbed of the Canadian Pacific Railway, thus symbolizing the departure of troops by train for Berryfield, Ontario. And with that, the ceremony drew to a conclusion.